Hello, this is Mike Lodge. I am the business advisor, and I'm glad that you're with me this morning. Notice how excited I am? I decided to change my approach to my podcast and be just a little bit more exciting instead of like a dull old accountant that I am. But today, I tell you, I'm kind of pissed off, and let me tell you why. I wrote this book called Gobbledygook, and gobbledygook means nonsense. You're using words of nonsense. And so I talk about, and I talk about it this morning also, about how the politicians in Wall Street and the media, they change words around to make it sound better, okay? Now remember, for a long time now, the media and the White House have been, and also the Federal Reserve have been talking about this soft landing of the economy, right? So now MSNBC, we had a headline this morning, and it said they were forecasting for 2024, right? What's going to happen? So they're calling for a deferred landing. So we went from a soft landing. Now it's going to be a deferred landing. Deferred means we don't know when it's going to end, right? We don't know when this recession is going to end. Let's just be honest with each other. We are in an inflationary mode, and it's going to be another 2 years, or maybe a year. Maybe if we get a good president in there, maybe we can get something done. But they're saying for 2024, they're calling for a deferred landing. So that's the new term. We went from soft landing, now we're going to a deferred landing. I tell you, this is why our economy can't get back on track, is because people want to make up words instead of attacking the problem that's existing right this very moment. They want to defer it now. So it's going to go down the road. They're going to admit that this inflation is going to last just a little bit longer. So I wrote a blog this morning, and this is what it read. I'm going to read it to you right now. The recent MSNBC headline about the economic forecast for 2024 calling for a deferred landing seems like nothing but gobbledygook and nonsense to me. The vague and cryptic nature of the phrase leaves much to be desired in terms of clarity and understanding. It's as if the headline was designed to confuse rather than inform, possibly to create a sense of intrigue or uncertainty. In the realm of economic forecasting, such obscure language only serves to obfuscate. My gosh, I can't even pronounce the words I wrote. The actual message, making it difficult for the average reader to grasp the true implications of what is being said. And that's a very true statement. I stand by that statement, because what we're using now in Wall Street and in the Federal Reserve and mainstream media, what they're saying is that they're taking words and they are changing it to make it sound like, oh, it's deferred, like it's not bad, or it's a soft landing. No, we're not even close to any of this, because we are in a recession. Let's just be honest with the American people and say we're in a recession, and we've been in this stupid recession for quite some time. Inflation has been with us for two plus years now, and now we're going into 2024, and now we're going into 2025, and we're still going to have this inflation unless they begin to address it. And how do they address it? Stop spending taxpayer money on nonsensical stuff like wars. Let's start spending some money on the homeless. My gosh, if I go driving down Los Angeles, I will see homeless everywhere. They're everywhere. There's one street in Venice that you go down, and it's nothing but old dilapidated motorhomes where people are living on the street. We have people who are living in their cars because they can't afford the rent in California. Students, nurses, teachers. And we want to spend more and more money on nonsense. And this is where we stand at the moment, is that we've got this gobbledygook type of media, gobbledygook type of government, and they are nothing but nonsense. Let's just be honest with the American people and state where we're at, because if we state it right now, and if we address it right now, we can get through this and get it done. But instead, nothing is done. Nothing gets done. And I hate it. I hate it more than anything else in the world because we can't be truthful with ourselves. So, stupid people like me come on our podcast and I keep saying we're in a recession and no one else wants to say it because they're afraid that it's going to hurt the feelings of the American people. Come on, we want to have the truth. That's what we want. We want to have the truth and we're not getting it. We're not getting it. But you and I, we know what we're in. We know that we have bad times. Wages have gone down over the last year. They haven't gone up. A study came out yesterday with Indeed saying that wages have gone down. In the state of California, they predicted in 2023 that they had created 250-some thousand jobs, and in actuality, after they did the numbers and rechecking the numbers, it was only 50,000 jobs. And the same type of reporting, the same type of data gathering and misinformation is being done out of the federal government as well. And we all know it. We know that the numbers that were generated for COVID were wrong from the very beginning because they were manipulating the numbers and creating more numbers by people just going in for regular checkups and they became a COVID patient. The economic numbers that we're seeing is wrong. If you look at the unemployment numbers, we're not at that number. We are much higher than that number. We have individuals who are not getting jobs. So let's just be honest with ourselves. You and I, we can be this honest, okay? You and I can talk across the kitchen table this morning with a cup of coffee and maybe a muffin, a blueberry muffin. And we can be honest and we can say, we are in trouble. This economy that we have, we are in trouble. This economy that we have is not being truthful from the federal government and from Wall Street. It just isn't. So you and I, we have to know that inflation is here to stay for a while. It's not a normalcy. We have to fight as consumers that this cannot be a normalcy of this type of inflation, especially when our wages cannot keep up with inflation. We have got to fight back as a consumer and say we're not going to accept this high prices anymore. And so what do they start doing? They start shutting down stores so they can still continue to inflate their prices, but they're not serving us. So, listen, this deferred landing at MSNBC is nothing but gobbledygook. And let's remember that word because everything that comes out of the media, out of Washington, D.C., out of the White House, out of your state governments on the economy is nothing but gobbledygook. This is Mike Lodge. I'm the business advisor. I'll talk with you soon. Everybody have a great day. Bye-bye.